on my harness. I'm not going to keep these, I don't think. I'm not going to need my second system. Got that on from yesterday from using the tail. It's nice to have backup systems. Maybe an akimbo might come in handy one day. So basically I got one spare beaner, a light rigging pulley, and 2 Flying Fox slings, just because they always come in handy. Don't they, Joel? You got both chokes on? So you lock it with the throttle back. So throttle all the way in, pull it back and let the throttle go. And that should lock in. Yeah. And now the back choke, that's got to be facing towards the back. Now pump it a couple of times as well. Now, hold. Back choke goes forward. See how you got a false start just then, like it wanted to run? So now you go half choke, so that's half choke now. Just let it sit for a minute. So thinking about where we want it, when you're lowering, best space for you would probably is out here. So I'm going to try and keep the porter up orientated in this direction. So I'm going to pass this tail around. Trying to keep it as low to the ground as possible. 1, because of that little bit of a feature. 2, because it makes it easier for you to tension it up if we have to, but we're running the safe block up the top anyway, so it's not a pulley. It's going to be friction up there. Yeah. 99% of the time you don't need to lift anything, you can just send it down. This is only sort of really going to be for more when we get to the blocks. We'll negative rig a couple of blocks and shit like that. Yeah. Might not even need to. I could probably just forward it down, but it'd probably be good practice for you to actually just snatch a block or 2. So I've just gone around. I brought it around as far as I can. It's nice and tight. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to start passing this around. So that's 1. And then the further you space these wraps apart, you're meant to get 5. The further you space them apart, the more friction it's actually generating, so the safer this knot will be. So that's 2, 3, 4, 'These bloodwoods are fucked. What was I up to? 4, so this is 5. Yeah. And sometimes, just to make it extra safe, you could do like a half hitch for this last one. So pass it down. It's technically 6 wraps, but I don't know, some people get a bit funny and want to be extra secure, so you can just lock that off with a little half hitch like that. So now that's in a good spot, because I'll probably send the green rope up the backside of here, set the rigging for out here somewhere. Because I'm going to pull this up anyways and I want a bit of weight for my ascending, I'm just going to tie this up in a little bundle at the base. Like I say, I'm just doing this fucking sparkless just for shits and gigs. It's pretty cool. So he's pulled out the drone for a bit to get a little bit of footage. It's not ideal, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little bit closer. Yeah. I'm going to want to pull that double ring thing the rest of the way through that fork. Make my high point a little bit better, so I don't experience any unexpected slips while I'm climbing. So this is still quite a small, short, soft 8, but now it's running more like a cambium saver off of that point. And then my high point's where I want it. And that'll fucking, yeah, that gives me plenty of space and height to work the rest of this tree pretty comfortably. So now that I've cut all this stuff out from the edge, I'm going to use this as like a 3-to-1. Oh. Oh. And that's why you got to watch yourself when you're doing shit.
You right?
Yeah, I'm good. See that?
Nah, I saw the rope.
I slipped off the branch I was trying to fucking come back in from. How's that, Joel?
Yeah, good.
Oh, that is so slippery. Nice. So see how if you had to let that go, as soon as the branches were coming down, the butt would have just kept coming towards you?
Yeah.
That's alright. There you go. Nice. So just get that one flicked off and then we'll do another log and then we'll reassess. I might just keep dumping some shit down on top of that.
Yep.
Maybe just have a look at that pile and see if we can make it sort of like try and keep all those bigger bits of branches that we could use as firewood. Like anything that you think you can burn, we'll keep. Nice. Gotta beware of that fucking overcut. Nice one, Joel. Hey Joel, can you just move this bin for me? This bin? Please? If you could just move that bin. See how that goes. Alright Joel, we'll just start with these ones out the front. Alright, you ready? Ready? Nice one, Joel.
Got the rope?
Yeah. Might not be able to let this one run too well, so just pull it up so there's just enough rope to hold it off the ground. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere about that. That worked out alright, eh?
Yeah.
If you want to, I'm just going to go up and cut a branch. If you want to just grab the 550 and just slice some of that up a bit so it's easier to move out of your way for a sec.
Yeah.
So be able to hold that there for a second. That's so difficult. Because we're trying to think about where it's going to go. So it's going to drop down, it's going to come across to the left. Because the rope's going to pull it over to that rigging point. See what I mean? Keep cutting a bit more. Nice. Nice one, mate. Not your best, but not your worst. So I really like this. It's like sets a stat, like it's a constant if you, depending on whether you put an 11/7 12mm rope or a 16, changes heat to how much friction it has. So if you're doing a lighter, sort of smaller job like this, you can get away with a 12mm rope through 3 blocks, and it won't be hindering him too much pulling it up. Got to give him plenty of friction to bring shit down. Good sized logs, branches. So I'm going to de-rig all this because I don't think I'm going to be doing any more rigging. Get my plane out of the top. I'm going to scuff this head out away. So as I'm up here putting my pull rope on, just for the head to go down into here, I realise I've actually put this Alpine on backwards. So if I was to go and try and retrieve this, the knot, I'd put a knot in the end of this tail, and that wouldn't slide through these ones. It should slide through this, but it doesn't always all the time, so I'm not real crash on retrieving it anyway. But yeah, it turns out to be sort of kind of a bit of a pointless piece of gear. Could have just used a running bowline and left it. Would have been easier to retrieve, but need this practice. I just finished making a midline attachable soft 8 actually just today. I found all the parts. Put that together.